Chat with Nichelle, where we celebrate remarkable women who are making waves in the world while juggling the demands of everyday life, inspiring others, and leaving a lasting impact. I'm your host, Nichelle Miller, reigning Pure International Elite Miss Central Region. Join me as we explore the stories of extraordinary women shaping our world right here on Crown Chat. Welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle, where we celebrate remarkable women who are Gotta love technology. Welcome to Crown Chat. I'm so excited to be back with you and introduce you to an amazing queen tonight. So I hope y'all are ready of your popcorn, your snacks, your drink. You're ready to enjoy and meet one of my very, very special friends. I'm excited to introduce you all to the amazing Mrs. Catherine Arneeson. Catherine, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Nichelle.
Thanks for being here. Now, I will tell everyone, Catherine's overcoming illness. So for her to be here with me, even through that, I'm so appreciative and so grateful. So we will just love on you tonight and enjoy you. Tell us your title and about your journey there.
Yes, in November, so I'm 6 months in, I was crowned Ms. Senior World 60s.
Wow. So out of all the seniors in the 60s, you are the woman. And can I just say, you don't look 60. So I think you cheated, but I don't.
Oh, thank you.
You look amazing. I first met you at another system, another pageant, and you were just phenomenal. I mean, you,
Oh,
in my opinion, you look like a life-size Barbie, and you were amazing in every category. You were in modeling and fitness and all these things, and you were just incredible. So when I saw you with this title, I was just like, oh wow, makes sense. She's
oh.
amazing.
Yes, we were sister queens
We were
years
forever,
back,
forever.
and that's actually brought us together.
It did. So tell us a little bit about your platform.
Well, my platform started in 2020, and when COVID hit, I was trying to think of a way to still be active, be productive with my time, and somehow find a way to give back. And I was on the phone one day with one of my girlfriends. She and I were talking about it, and we came up with an idea about knitting baby hats because we knew, COVID or not, women were still having babies.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, we started knitting these hats, and the platform is called Raining Pearls of Hope. And raining is Reigning because we've met, my girlfriend and I, Megan Taylor, we met through pageantry. And Pearl is Purl, which is a knitting term. And we started knitting these hats. And after about 3 months, I think between the two of us, we had about 300 hats. And long story short, these hats have been donated all over, and so many women have joined us and have also started knitting the hats. And it's just become an incredible movement over the last 4 years. In fact, I brought two little examples. They're made out of baby blanket yarn, so they're super soft. And we bring them to the NICUs, and it's just a little message to tell the moms that are there that someone is there thinking about you. And what I recently found out is actually the hats are given to the babies after their very first bath. So it's just very, very special. And, hopefully it also becomes a keepsake that they say, this is my baby's first hat. And
Yeah.
they will always hang on to it. So, and then long story short, this year I partnered with another friend of mine, Serena Ritter Ketty, and we started You Gotta Have Faith. So I'm still doing Raining Pearls of Hope, but now I'm also doing You Gotta Have Faith. And You Gotta Have Faith was born out of a tragedy, a sadness that Serena's younger sister, who I believe would have been 30 years old today, passed away. She was one of those preemie babies that didn't make it. And so we started You Gotta Have Faith. And we try and just spread a lot of positivity. We visit a lot of pediatric units, and we do all kinds of different things. We've done crayons and coloring books for the kids that are in the pediatric unit over the holidays, and we've done little care packages for the moms that are there. And we're just trying to share a little hope and positivity during sometimes a difficult time.
Yeah,
So
that's
those are
amazing.
basically, I'm kind of working two different platforms at the same time.
That's amazing. But you're working your crown, and that's what it's about. Somebody says, "Good evening. I love your crown, Miss Catherine." I
Thank
told her
you.
that too.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your pageant journey. I mean, you're reigning Miss Senior World now, but did you start pageantry late in life? Were you one of those typical early starters, or what's your
No,
story?
I did start late in life. It was an interesting year because I had recently retired. I was in my mid 50s. And for a lot of people like myself, that first year was very difficult. I had worked over 30 years and I was still trying to figure out what am I going to do now with the rest of my life. And one of the first things I actually started doing was volunteering. And I walked into an animal shelter one day because I have a huge heart for animals, homeless animals. And so I started doing that to not only take up my time, but find something that gave me pleasure and was my passion. But long story short, during that year, I decided to do a pageant. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I literally went into a store one day, bought a long dress, bought what I needed, and 30 days later, I was on a stage. And I placed fourth runner up, which I was just, my jaw dropped. It's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. How did I become a runner up? And then it kind of went from there, and it was several years. I think it was about 4 or 5 different pageant systems that I tried, and just sometimes I placed, sometimes I didn't place, but I loved the challenge.
Yeah.
And I loved that every time that I did it, I did see some improvement in myself. And then I went to Miss Royalty International, and that was in 2017. That was my second time competing there, and I did win. That was my first pageant ever that I had ever won. And then after that, I went to the American Elegance system, and I was in the Mrs. division, and I was very honored to win that title. And then you and I met at American Beauties National,
Hmm.
and then I went to AmeriFest and had some success there. And then this brings me up to date in November Senior World.
That's amazing. And I love that because, my platform's Power to Dream and believing in yourself, and that you started late in life. And I think that sometimes us senior women feel that we can't start, that it's too late for us. So
Hmm.
I love that your story has been so successful. You mentioned that you tried several pageant systems. How do you research and decide which pageant that you're going to compete in?
I didn't know how to research in the beginning. And, through trial and error, meeting people and competing and just being around other women that have been doing this for a while, it really helps to talk to other people. I've learned through the years that it really helps to talk to reigning queens, do the research, find out what the requirements are, find out what exactly that they're looking for. And then I ultimately did get a coach. My coach has always been Crystal Cavey, and she's, brought me to where I am today. And she really brought out the confidence in me, which was the main thing that I was severely lacking.
Awesome.
And she has helped me to again pick the right system that fits what I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah. And that's so important because if you don't match the system, it's not a good fit for anybody.
Mm.
So, what's something you've learned about yourself? You mentioned that she brought kind of the confidence back to you. What's something you've learned about yourself through pageantry?
Well, it's it's been a really long journey. Just a very short little background. When I was younger, I was a very sickly child,
Mm.
and people had very low expectations of my future because I was so sick all the time, and I constantly needed tutoring to kind of keep up with the class and stay with the kids in school. It was challenging. I wasn't expected to go to college. I wasn't expected to graduate. Expectations were extremely low. And after so many years of that, you end up believing it.
Hmm.
And so I was wired that way, that I could never achieve anything. If I start something, I'm going to fail. Um, I'm never going to be able to see it through. So most of my life, that was my wiring. That was my thought process. So being that some of the things that I've tried now in my 50s, it's like sometimes I don't even know who I who I've become, because it's so different from a good portion of my life. I took up golf in my 50s. I play mahjong now, that I took up in my 50s. I took up yoga in my 50s. I took up pageantry in my 50s. Like, I've taken up so many things in my life later on. Um, and it's been so fulfilling and satisfying. Life is not over. We
Yeah.
still have a lot to offer.
That's amazing. That's a great story. So you're halfway through your reign
Uh-huh.
of Miss Senior World. What has been, and you've done a lot. If you people are not following her on social media, she's busy all the time. You would never guess. Like I said, I don't think she's in her 60s, but we'll see. Um, what has been your favorite appearance so far?
Oh gosh, I am in such a wonderful area where I live. One of the organizations that's almost literally in my backyard is Feed My Starving Children.
Mm.
And it's an organization that's fairly centered here in the Midwest. And I like to go there at least quarterly. You give a couple hours of your time, and you package up meals that go to children in need all over the world. And it's really sad today that there's still, I think the statistic is, 1 in 6 children go hungry every single day. So I love that organization. That's definitely one of my favorites that I go to on a regular basis. And I love, the other one that's in our city, in the city of Chicago, is Cradles to Crayons.
Mm.
And they service all the children in the Chicagoland area. They provide all kinds of clothing. Clothing insecurity is what they call it, is a real issue with kids. And they do a backpack program for back to school. And I like to go there on a regular basis too. They do amazing things.
That's amazing. You're so awesome. You're just awesome. Okay, we had someone. What's been your favorite part about doing pageants and finding the right pageant?
My favorite part is just challenging myself.
Yeah.
It's I never felt like I was competing against other women. It's being the best that I can be for that particular window of time. And again, because of my history and my background, I've had to overcome a lot. So it's all about doing me the best way that I know how to do me at this stage in my life.
It's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about Senior World. What type of pageant is it? What are the ages? What are the areas of competition?
Okay, well, I can't say enough about Senior World. First of all, there's 3 queens.
Okay.
It starts at age 50 to 59 is the 50s queen. Then I'm 60 to 69.
Okay.
And then there's one for 70 to 79. So there's 3 of us. And this year was very special. The 50s queen is from Canada. I'm obviously from the United States. And the 70s queen is from France. So we had a very international crowning between the 3 of us. 30% is interview. I took notes because I was like, I don't want to get this wrong. 30% is interview. Activewear is 20%. Runway fashion is 20%. And evening gown is 30%. That we also had an onstage question. This year it is November 20th to 23 in Biloxi, Mississippi. And if you haven't been to Biloxi, it is an incredibly wonderful place. I had never been there before, and it's wonderful.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I have to get into that. Do you remember your onstage question?
I do. I
What
do.
was your question?
It was actually one of the questions that I had thought about. And my onstage question was, how do you get other people involved? Actually, the judge said to me, you have been recognized nationally for your service. I did receive 2 Presidential Service Awards over the last 2 years. And she said, you've been recognized nationally, but how do you get other people involved?
Mm.
And again, through my personal experience, it's doing things for other people that they're passionate about. It's a reciprocal revolving door. If you find other people that are passionate about a cause, then you need to help them out. And I think in reciprocation, then they said, well, what do you have going on? Let me do something for you.
I love that. That's wow. And I love that you serve. You serve in so many capacities, but I think that one of your greatest impacts is with children. And that's so huge. I mean, just for our future as a country, as a nation, but just that you're impacting lives that are going to continue to impact lives that are continue. It's just going to be, that cycle, which is so beautiful. So kudos to you, Miss Catherine. You're
Oh,
amazing.
well, again, I remember being in the hospital so many times when I was younger, and with kids that were just horrible, horrible circumstances. The one little girl that I shared a room with, and again, you had to be really sick to be in this hospital. I believe it's Lurie's today. I don't think it was called Lurie's back in the 60s, but she had swallowed Drano. Yeah, she had swallowed Drano. And, those kind of memories, they stay with you forever. And other children that had had open heart surgery and just really, really, really severe cases. So those memories are so vital to who I am that, yes, I do have an affinity for that.
It's wonderful. So I'm sure, I know this is a question I have, and I've been super supported, and I'm sure you're in the same boat. What did your husband think of you starting pageantry in this new season?
He's incredible. There are no words. People that know him know that he is so super supportive. He is my number one cheerleader. He's just the best of the best. He really is. He's never put up any kind of roadblocks. He loves to tell people that I'm the busiest retired person that he's ever seen. I've learned now that my schedule, my calendar is out on my island in my kitchen. So what do you have going on this week? What do you have going on today? He knows that there's not very many days where I just have a day where I'm not doing something. So, but I think he's very proud of me, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
He's still working, and I'm super proud of him and everything that he's accomplished. But we're definitely each other's biggest cheerleaders and support systems. So it's good.
That's wonderful. And I love that he knows where the calendar is and he checks it. We have weekly calendar meetings like, okay, what's going on this week?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. What's next for you? I mean, you've done it all, it seems. What's next on your bucket list?
Nichelle, this is the first time I've told a couple people this. This is the very first time since I started competing that I'm not sure. I love competing, but this title that I was able to acquire in November has been so fulfilling and so satisfying that I don't know if I'm going to retire or not. It's the first time where I honestly can say I just don't know what's next.
Yeah.
I will
That's
still
okay.
continue, I will still continue work with all the organizations that I love and that keep me busy.
Hmm.
But as far as the next step, I don't know.
That's amazing. I love that for you though. You have options and you have time.
Yeah.
One final question from our audience here. What were your emotions when you won?
Oh
So
my
we'll say the
gosh.
senior world. Yeah.
I felt like I did everything that I could, and whatever happens, happens. You just have to feel confident about what you did. And one of the side awards, which was just ironic, is I won Best in Interview out of all the divisions. And that was always my struggle from the very beginning was interview.
Hmm.
And I know you know that well because when we were together, you had the highest interview score ever recorded.
Did I?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That makes me feel good because I think for many of us, that's a struggle area
It is.
because there's so much you want to relay and in your mind and then the nerves and the things. And so that's an amazing award. I'm so proud of you. That's
That,
huge.
even if I didn't win the title, to have won that to me was the accomplishment that I knew that I had the ability to do it. Because again, I've always had that little tape recorder in my ear saying, you're not worthy, you're not good enough. So that was everything I needed to know that, I can do this.
And you did. And you did. That's beautiful. Okay, we're getting to the end of our time. I try not to go too long. What is one piece of advice you would give someone that's considering a pageant journey and really hesitant about starting late or not, I'm not enough? What would be your tip to them?
Well, it's never too late. And if you're curious, just try it. Find something that's maybe local, that doesn't take you too far away, that's maybe, only a day or two, that it's a short one, and just try it. It's the same way with, I think it's any sport. It was my neighbor that she said to me, I'm in this golf league. Come and golf with us. I said, I don't golf. Just come golf with us. So it's just, don't be afraid to try something. And if there's just a little bit of curiosity about it, go ahead and do it. We all have just gained so many wonderful friendships and been partnered with so many great organizations. And there's so many wonderful things that comes from it, that I say, if you're just a little bit curious, talk to somebody, let us help you. But I've gained so much from this over the last several years.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. How can people follow your journey and get involved with your platforms and support you?
Yes, well, I am on Facebook and Instagram, and we have a separate page for Raining Pearls of Hope, and also You Gotta Have Faith. So there's also a tutorial, a knitting tutorial on Raining Pearls of Hope, in case you're so inclined to knit any of these cute little baby hats. But that's where you can find both of the organizations and me.
Wonderful. Well, Catherine, I can't thank you enough for being here. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that pageantry brought us together and I get to follow you and your beautiful journey. You ladies and gentlemen watching, she's as beautiful inside as she is on the outside. She's incredible. I can't wait to see what the next 6 months and beyond hold for you. And
Thank
I
you.
thank you again for being here. Everyone tuning in at home, thanks for being here with us. And remember, never let anybody dull your sparkle because they can't handle your shine. Have a good night, guys.